Hi there, it's Sandra here from Create in Spain. What you are looking at here is transfer foil. And you might think, well, there's nothing particularly strange in that. However, this is transfer foil that I made. Yep, not bought transfer foil at all. And how did I make it? Well, the answer is very, very easily. Now this particular transfer foil has a base of cellophane because I happen to have some cellophane around and I thought I may as well use it. It's actually yellow cellophane. However, to make it into a transfer foil, all I did was spray it with this chrome paint. Now this is an effect that I wanted, which is a chrome one. You can get spray paints in all sorts of metallic colours and things, so the world is your oyster. And you can probably use multiple different substrates in order to get the same result. I have to one side, and you might be able to hear it muttering to itself, got my laminator warming up. All I did with this was I set up a large cardboard box with a magnetic sheet in the base, and my version of a magnetic sheet is an old baking tray. And I then put that inside the box. Few magnets on the corners to hold it down because you want to spray this stuff outside, and I don't have a garage, so I had to do it outside in pretty much a howling gale yesterday and I didn't want my cellophane blowing away. Now I have here an example of what happens, because this being yellow is not the colour that my transfer foil is. My transfer foil is that, basically the spray paint colour. So this was done using a stencil and using some Liquitex. Now you don't have to use Liquitex. People use all sorts of acrylic substances to do transferring of foils. This worked really, really well. Now one thing that I suggest, if you're going to use a stencil, and I just use this card one that I'd cut, I suggest that you use a static powder wipe over your card to start with. If you don't have that, do what I did and use talcum powder, just brush talcum powder over it, so that if you end up with any greasy fingerprints or something like that, it doesn't stick to anything else, okay? It'll just stick to what it is on the stencil. And that's precisely what's gone on here, except that when I first did it, there were slight little marks outside of this area where the edge of my foil was. All I did was took an eraser and erased those, and they came off really easy, no problem whatsoever. So that is one tip for you. And I can show you, no, that's not the one, here we go. Here is the foil. That's the result that I got. So it worked really, really well. I've got an example here on black card. Now if I had much stronger light in here, it's a bit dull today, you would see that that actually shines quite nicely. There's not enough light on it to make it really shiny today. I have here another sample that I've done, same stencil, and this is what it looks like when you've just got the clear acrylic on it. And what I'm going to do is try a slightly different substrate. What I've done this time round, I took some non-stick baking parchment. Now I'm not talking waxed paper here. You don't add any other substance to this. This is just a non-stick baking parchment. And I spray painted it. This is the painted side, obviously. And I'm going to see if it will transfer from that to this, because I don't know. I have not tried it before. I suspect that it should, but I don't know it. You could probably use other forms of plastic to spray on. Just depends on what you've got hanging around that you're not using for anything else important. Let's open up. This is just normal copy paper. Put that in. Not sure if my machine is hot enough yet, so we'll see. I'll just feed this through. Now you might be thinking, well, hang on, by the time I've bought chrome paint, it's not going to be that cheap. The chrome paint that I've got here, I picked up for €2.50. That's going to do quite a lot of foiling. The other advantage is that it's easily available in most places, whereas you may not necessarily be able to go to a shop and pick up transfer foil. I certainly can't. And with the postage costs and things like that, trying to get things on Amazon and so on, I'm not sure if that's completely gone on there yet, so I'll put it through again. You know, you just want to have other alternatives around for emergency use. The other thing is that if you're going to be doing fairly large designs, being able to use that is going to make it considerably cheaper than using whole foil sheets. So let's see what has happened, if anything, see if it's transferred. Yep, it did transfer. It's got an unusual effect in that that is not shiny like this is. So it's a different effect if you put it on baking parchment. Whereas the other one is definitely, you know, it's got a slick, shiny surface. This looks more like concrete, perhaps. It's an interesting effect, and it's definitely got its place in the craft room, but obviously putting it onto a different surface gives it a different texture, a different look. Interesting. You could use old cellophane packaging, anything like that that you've got to get the same result. And you may find that there are far more different substrates than I'm aware of that you could put it onto. The obvious one is acetate. So I am quite surprised that that comes out like that. It's definitely unusual, but it's not an unpleasant effect. It's interesting, that. So there we go, something that I didn't expect. But that's how you make your own transfer foil, and you know, whatever metallic paints that you can get, spray paints, will do the job just nicely, as long as it's put on something that doesn't hold onto it. The other way of using this should be possible with double-sided tape. So let's get a piece of tape and try it out. I see no reason why it wouldn't work, but you never know. Just going to put a piece of tape on here and put my foil over the top. Rub it down well, and perfect transfer, no problem at all. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Take care now.